A group of female sorority sisters are getting ready for the winter break. Only problem is there is a killer seemingly hunting them down one by one. Hello, everyone. I'm Caleb Leger.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
Welcome to a new episode of Beyond the Bed. Today, we'll be talking about the second attempt to remake and bring back a Christmas horror classic. Tongue-tied already. I'm blaming Dan Cummins because I listened to a lot of Time Suck and scared to death. But the second attempt to remake and bring back a Christmas horror classic, 2019's take on Black Christmas. With a PG-13 rating and some of the most unsubtle political messaging I've ever seen, the film would go on to become a box office disappointment and be dismissed by critics. Connor?
Well, in case you didn't know that this was supposed to be Black Christmas, it takes place at Christmas, and there's black goo. So, Black Christmas. This is what's known as not being subtle.
Goo, by the way, that I'm pretty sure they took from Fantasy Island, because that came out before this, also by Blumhouse. It came out a couple earlier in the year, or literally
Fantasy Island came out in 2020 because it bombed because of COVID. But
oh yeah, well, either way, they still had a surplus of black goo in this movie because you know what shows up in Fantasy Island? Black goo.
I'm honestly surprised nobody said this is this year we're gonna have a Black Christmas. I'm surprised they didn't say that.
Yeah, and also Fantasy Island not bombed because of COVID. It was a horrendous movie. COVID just kind of helped that along.
Yeah. Black Christmas 2019 rocking a 39% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, 31% audience score. Finally, we can agree on something. Consensus reads, better than the 2006 remake, yet not as sharp as the original. This Black Christmas stabs at timely feminist themes, but mostly hits on familiar pulp. I love it. It's still not as good as the first one, but you know what? It's better than 2006, and I don't think anybody agrees with that.
I don't. I do not, because at least with 2006 one, yeah, the characters are horrendous because you sit through the whole thing going, how are you guys a sorority? Because they fucking hate each other's guts in 2006 one. It's weird. But at the very least, it makes up for that with one of the most bonkers, insane, creepily incestuous backstories put for a horror film villain explanation and just 2000s in your face gore.
Does Billy have a sister mom?
Yeah.
Okay. Or a brother?
His mom fucks him.
Okay, there you go.
However that works, but his mom fucks him in 2006 one.
Neat.
Yeah,
well, I guess
good from her man, so she fucks her son.
Well, that'll make you killer. Well, I guess we'll talk about that movie at some point too, because it's also shit. They can't seem to nail Black Christmas. Bob Clark just keeps rolling in his grave every 10 years.
Yeah, well, I don't want to give it too away because actually it's one of my questions. I have two questions. So you know what? Before we get heavy, I'll just get into that one then. Before we get heavy into the political messaging of this film, because I know we usually try to avoid politics, but in case, like we said, this one film is not subtle at all. So it's going to get brought up. But first, because one of my questions is why do you think they haven't gotten a remake to this classic film, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think on that note you've brought up? Why do you think they just cannot nail a fucking remake to this thing?
Well, nobody cares. I think, Bob Clark cared, and he was developing a sequel when he unfortunately passed in a sudden car accident. And since then, Black Christmas is just a name that they can slap onto any schlock and hope they can get asses in seats for at least to make its budget back. Every horror remake from the past 20 years is intended, has the same intentions. Slap a recognizable name on it, make money, and that's it. I mean, there's exceptions. Occasionally you get an Invisible Man or a
Texas
Scream,
Chainsaw
Texas
3.
Chainsaw. But a lot of the times it's just, producers who don't care about the source material, who don't believe in the product, and just want to make that, make their bottom line. That's what Black Christmas is. And regrettably, we keep getting weird turns on this thing. We go from incest to over the top political allegory instead of just, sorority chicks getting butchered in a house on Christmas Eve. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and actually, I think you've hit the nail in that last scene right there. Other than obviously this age-old like producers probably don't care, and as someone who has now sat through the Halloween trilogy Jason Blum gave us, I'm really sorry about wonder how much he cares about these films or just making money off established IP. Yeah, shots fired, Jason Blum. Do a better trilogy next time. But
Do better. I love that.
do better. I will say I do like the casting for the Five Nights at Freddy with Matthew Lillard. That's fucking awesome. But I think what they forget is the reason the original film works is it's because of its simplicity. It's the same reason Halloween works. It's its simplicity. It is sorority sisters on winter break. They're getting ready to go home, visit their families. All of a sudden, they start getting these strange, obscene phone calls, and someone's picking them off one by one in the house.
Yeah. We don't need an elaborate backstory for the killer. We don't need some, ancient frat cult using the essence of mankind's evil to manipulate women. Like, slow the fuck down. Just, with horror, less is always more. Just, this thing happens because this thing happens, and then everyone's dead. The end. Maybe we'll get a part 2.
Yeah. And to me, with the original, what makes it work also, besides its simplicity, it's ambiguity. Like you said, you don't get a backstory on Billy in the original film at all. Like, there's no backstory. You don't even, in the whole 90 minutes of that film, you not once see his entire face or his body. You see an eye and his hands.
Yeah.
That's it.
A creepy ass voice that just sounds unhinged. All we know is there's a psycho on the loose, and that's all we need. The idea that a crazy person's in your house and he's killing people you care about, you don't need much more than that for a successful movie.
And it's still creepy. I will never forget when I was watching. I actually watched because I picked up the Screen Factory edition, the recent 4K upgrade they did, which for those who are wondering, looks and sounds fantastic on 4K, the original one. And to this day, even at I'm turned 30 recently, so even now, watching that and that scene when like she realizes, oh my god, he's in the house because the detective has to tell her like get out, he's in the house. That scene when she's running and like you just see the hand shoot out and he's making the noises, I legit got goosebumps. Still, it's a fucking creepy scene because again, simplicity, less is more. It works in that film's favor so well.
Yeah, most of the foundational horror films, I think, especially the slashers, are built on just how much can we get away with without spending too much money, and that reinforces a ambiguous situation. You have to rely more on scares and on just blood and effects. I'm mostly talking about like Black Christmas and Halloween are kind of the shining examples of this.
Although to an extent, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, was not a bloody film actually.
True, same deal. And I think people who try to capture that magic again, they don't understand what made those films work. And they just go heavy in the opposite direction and completely miss the point.
Yeah.
And, we see that again and again. There are never lessons learned in Hollywood. That's kind of if this show has a theme, it's that. There are never lessons learned in Hollywood.
Ever. Oh God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like again, at my age, I was a teenager around the time the 2000s era of horror was kind of booming, the gore and violence and stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's an absolute place for that, and I love that shit. And and I love in your face violence and gore just as much as I like the more subtle, simple, just type of horror like the original Halloween, Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, um, Black Christmas, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, when they remake these things, and again, I'll turn to TCM 2003 as this shining example. Did it obviously have a 2000 sensibility at that time? Yes, it was definitely more gritty in a way. It was again not, I would argue, so not overly violent compared to what we got with a lot of 2000 stuff. Still some good violence, though, still some good gore for that time. But they also understood what made the original work, and you could tell the people doing it cared about the original and wanted to make a good film. And that's the key difference in that you get these people that, like you said, they don't really care, they don't get it, and they swing wildly in the opposite direction to try to appease obviously a more modern audience at the time, thinking, hey, this will get them in. And then we see time and again, the film flops, gets bad reviews, and no one gives a shit.
Well, that's what happened in 06. But with the 2019 version we're talking about today, we see another trend that tends to happen with horror remakes. First up, softening the blow and giving us a PG-13 adaptation, which is a terrible idea. And two, somebody thinking, I have something to say, and I'm going to inject my bullshit into an established property, and everyone's going to hate it because everyone who goes to see Black Christmas is looking forward to a dark slasher reminiscent of the Black Christmases they have had in the past. Instead, they're going to get a political allegory that is just going to upset people and confuse people and irritate everyone who went to see Black Christmas.
Yes.
So, yeah, I know I'll never understand somebody who thinks I can do that better than the original person can. That's arrogance, and you're always wrong.
Well, and what's crazy to me, and again, it's actually a good segue getting to my second question, but I'll ask that in a minute. But what's crazy to me is that like you said, you're alienating part of your audience because like, and I'm not saying like obviously horror has had social commentary before. There's something wrong with that. Horror is a great place for social commentary. Depends on how you do it. And also I think with watching this new one and kind of doing my research, guess what? Bob Clark actually, there are feminist themes in the original Black Christmas. First off, the sorority sisters are fucking likable in the original one because they feel like sorority sisters. They feel like, yeah, obviously they're own people, but they have each other's back. But also there's the whole subplot. Because it's been a couple years since I've watched it. Um, about how Olivia Hussey's character is pregnant and wants to get an abortion and is not listening to her dude saying essentially, I know it sounds cheesy to some people, but the whole my body, my choice thing, right? But she's personifying that of saying like, look, I am not sacrificing my life, my career that I'm working on for this. This is my decision. I'm doing it, and that's an entire subplot in the original film that's directed by a dude and handled far better than your 2019 one that's ran directed by women that are just being angry and doing blanket statements and alienating the audience.
Well, I've got in one of my letterbox reviews I'll bring up towards the end. Somebody points out the fact that like horror more than any other genre has like created more feminist icons in film than any other genre.
Look at the 80s final gore, for example. Like that's when
Yeah.
the coin was term. It's only been recently, like maybe 5-10 years ago, that we came up with the term final guy or whatever, Scream King, for people like Bruce Campbell and the few dudes that are icons in the genre. But you don't hear, I mean, like I said, Scream Queen, Final Girl, that all that shit's existed for such a long time.
Well, and like you said, the original Black Christmas explores feminist themes and is a very, pro-woman movie while also not, you know, shoving a unnecessary political message down our throats. Whereas the new one is almost saying like, finally, we have a horror movie for women. And it's like, where have you been for the past like 100 years of film? Like we've always had feminist themes in horror films. Like you are not you're not discovering this.
Yeah, horror's always been feminist to me in the sense that like think about like look at like your main characters, right? Like the dudes are always douche frat bro types anyway, that are usually more annoying than anything, and are usually the first ones to get killed off. And the women are always the resourceful ones that make it to the end. You know, again, the final goal, right? Makes it to the end. It's always been a thing.
Yeah. And you just didn't do it as well as other people have done it.
Yes.
Sorry.
Which is okay, a good way with my next question. The one that's going to be getting more into this politics stuff. And I swear we're not going to try to go too hard on this, but just for those who have seen this film, you get it if you've seen the film.
If she's going to shove politics into Black Christmas, we're going to shove politics into Black Christmas.
Yeah. So with that, thinking on the broad spectrum of social messaging in general, how do you feel personally about films that incorporate social messaging into their story? And do you feel that there's a correct way to do it?
Yeah, 100%. Film is it's a medium of art that people can use to express themselves, express their beliefs, express their politics. But you got to do it in a way that's not ham-fisted and not going to alienate people. You have to get people on your side to support your belief, to support your politics. That's why you're making this. And I think that, I support that 100%. I'm writing a thesis right now on Hispanic discrimination in film, and that's coming up a lot. So yeah, I 100% support that. Do I support the way it was handled in Black Christmas? Absolutely not. I mean, it's the writer director. Her name is Sophia Takal.
Mm-hmm.
She basically takes a whole bunch of buzzwords that we've heard on the news in various, rape trials and accusations and stuff like that, and just shoves them into this movie with barely any context, and just creates a world that is so black and white that there's no way to kind of get on anybody's side here. And that's not what you want in any movie, let alone a slasher. So I do think it can be done right. It's done right often, but it was not done right here.
Yeah, and no, I'm kind of with him. I feel the same way. It can obviously I have zero issues with putting social messaging in the film. Horror, especially, has been a gold mine of like finding ways to talk about things in society in a very abrasive way.
Yeah, look at Night of the Living Dead. I mean,
yeah,
all of Romero's films reflect, society of the time, a society that's dealing with the civil rights movement or commercialism. And we all were like, yeah, we get it and we like it. Well done, George.
yeah. So yeah, it can be done. You just have to remember, like, if you're going to do it, don't forget your story. Like, you still got a story to tell. You still got to entertain people. You still got to get their butts into the seat, while also delivering, the message you want to deliver. Even if your audience disagrees with it, whatever. Like, that's not the point. You're just, the point is you're getting your message out there, and how you take it as audience members, how you take it. And obviously when the Me Too movement happened, we were been getting a surplus, obviously, of things like, having more people of color behind camera and women behind camera. And because of that, we do get a lot more films that are taking these feminist approach and stuff like that. And that's fine. That's awesome. It's a much different, it's a different way to look at stories, right? It's a different way, a different viewpoint.
I've got a good example. A couple years ago, there was a movie that came out called Promising Young Woman, which was written and directed. So good. It was written and directed by Emerald Fennell, or Fennell. I don't remember how to say her name properly. But it's a rape revenge film about a woman whose best friend was raped in college. No one believed her, and she was driven to suicide. So the friend devotes her time to getting revenge on behalf of her friend. And it deals with very similar themes that Black Christmas tries to do, but it's handled very differently and very appropriately in Promising Young Woman, to the point where Emerald Fennell won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Like, that thing was a hit and is a brilliant depiction of a post-Me Too movement world. So this kind of, I'm not against this kind of storytelling. I want it to be done right. I want it to be done properly, to the point where I don't feel like the bad guy just because of who I am.
Yes. And I'm the same way. For me with this film, I got my own example. I'll bring it up for one that does work. Um, for me, like, yeah, when you watch this, like, there, obviously, you can argue that, well, if you feel that way, you're just taking it personally, blah blah blah, right? When you go and see this and you feel a certain way. But at the same time, like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't. This is me personally. I shouldn't go to a movie and watch it and then start getting angry because you're trying to make me feel bad just for being born a white straight male. Like, fuck off. Like, I don't do any of the stuff you're purporting all men do in this movie. I don't do any of that. I go to
Yeah.
work, I go home, and I live my fucking life.
The idea that, this is a world where every man secretly wants to be a rapist, that's fucked up and frankly very insulting.
Yeah, like it's like no, fuck you. That no, I don't no, fuck you. That's not how I feel at all. Like, so that's why I say like in a case where it did work for me was the Slumber Party Massacre remake that I think like they put on the Sci-Fi Channel,
Oh,
and it did a lot of the same stuff and saying like but they did it in a way that worked, right? They flipped the script and they did their little jokey like thing where like okay the women are going out to do their summer party and they're doing all stuff and then the big rug gets pulled and it's revealed that they've been purposely recreating what someone would want women to do at a summer party to draw the killer out. And yeah, it worked. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And then they reveal a cabin across the lake full of dudes, and the movie goes out of its way to sexualize them, make them very metrosexual, if you will. Like you get whole like ass crack shot of one dude, like. But again, because of the war they built and the fact that again it was clear that they're flipping that script and just saying like, hey, what if we did this on a feminist perspective and flipped it on its head? I connected and I was like, fuck yeah, this is. I was laughing. I had a good time with it. I really enjoyed the movie. And from what I saw, a lot of people did. It had a really good reception, all that good stuff. It was a hit when it came out. So I'm like, see, like you said again, it can work if you just know how to do it and do it right, if that makes sense.
yeah. Don't give us, every male character is such a alpha male cliche asshole that it's just unbelievable. And it's just, it's the black and white character. You've got to have, if your bad guys are just straight up like so cartoonishly evil, there's no middle ground. And the good guys are so like, noble and like, we're gonna save the world from all the evil dudes. It's like, let's slow down here.
Yeah.
First off, this ain't Black Christmas. Like, I don't know what this is, but it sure as shit is not Black Christmas.
No, it's not. That's another issue. I have like just slapping the damn name of Black Christmas because to me that also reads of like because you were so gung ho about your message and not really caring clearly about the story, you were like, how do we put? And I could be wrong, but this is how it felt. It was like, oh, we got to tie it to something that will get people into seats. Black Christmas, people, that's a holiday classic. Do that. That will get people in the seats. And then people caught on when they went to go watch and went, no, fuck this movie, and told their friends, and it tanked.
Yeah, that's how it works. Don't don't fuck with the classics. Do not fuck with the classics. I'll say it again. Don't fuck with the classics. The
Yeah.
golden rule.
If you if you do want to watch something that is coming out in the post Me Too movement, very feminist and a better take on this stuff, you got two movie recommendations right there. Promising Young Woman, which I do need to see myself. I've actually been meaning to watch because I heard good things. And if you, I promise you, I know the sci-fi title, not the ringing sound of endorsement, but I promise, the remake of Slumber Party Massacre, very fun one to check out as well.
There you go. There's two movies that did it better.
Yeah, way better, way better. But yeah, unless you have anything more to add to this, we can move on to Development Hell and kind of leave behind the politics for a bit.
I got one more thing to say. Just hammering it home. Don't fuck with the classics.
I'm glad we did it this year instead of when I first watched this film because I've had like a good year or two. I forget when I first watched it. The date's on the site. To not be so angry like I was when I watched this movie because I did give this a one on the website in case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, it's the whole review is basically just and another thing over and over again, which I totally get.
I was like writing it and I was like, no, I really hated that and I really hated that and god damn it. Oh, that was the thing. Real quick,
Yeah.
I when it comes to okay, and this was another thing this film did. It did have a moment, and I noticed it more this time, and it just infuriated me more, where they were like, let's actually make a solid argument instead of these blanket fucking statements it makes. And when the guy starts coming up and he has this moment of like, oh, all guys, oh, you're talking about all men, blah, blah, blah. And he starts to kind of fight back at them. And I remember sitting there going, yes, yes. He's kind of douchey, but finally, just fucking speak up because I would be getting sick and tired of this shit too if I was in that house. Like, shut up. I'm right here. And then the film completely just brings that argument up and then drops it. Never once. So even when the film tries to trick you and say, like, let's have that talk, let's have that argument. Then they go, no, it's a man that wants to have that argument. Nope. And then
Yeah,
it pulls back.
she yells at him like, "Did you just not all men me?" And then they just throw him out.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how you win a debate. You can't win a debate by going, "Yeah, well, fuck you." No.
It's not how you win. So that just infuriated me more. I'm like, so you're going to cock tease an argument and then say no? Okay. We're going to do that game. Cool.
The only way the only reason that would happen is if you can't win the debate.
Yes, which tells me that this film is the epitome of all debates circa 2020 on Twitter. Development hell time. If you don't get that, get on Twitter. Since the pandemic, you know what I mean. All right. Before I go down anymore, we go down development hell. Or moving on to development hell.
Don't fuck with the classics.
All
I'm
right.
not letting that go. It needs to be said as many times as possible
No,
if they're not
I'm
fucking
trying-
getting the message.
I'm trying really hard not to keep going down the rabbit hole, but this film is slowly opening it up. I'm like, I got to get to development hell. All right. We'll get back on our awards, whatever. So, starting in June of 2019, in the same goddamn year it came out, folks, Jason Blum revealed his studio. For those who don't know, who've been living under a rock, especially with these last three Halloween films, Blumhouse Productions, ring a bell, Halloween, Insidious, Paranormal Activity, The Purge, insert almost every fucking horror film coming out nowadays. But Blumhouse Productions, he announced, I kid you not, in June of 2019, remember when this came out, that they were working on a remake of 1974's Black Christmas.
That tells me that this was an afterthought at best.
Yep. Clearly hey, again, what was coming out? The hugely successful Halloween films that Blum was producing for his company. So he's like, I did that. Black Christmas time. And also I can get Ellen Burns, I can convince so-and-so to come back for The Exorcist. Like, okay, dude.
Yeah, I'm starting to, we all thought Elon Musk was Tony Stark when he showed up, but then we got to know him.
I'm starting to think the same thing with Jason Blum.
Yeah, I'm starting to think like maybe every producer's an asshole.
Oh God. Well, this is all in June right now, right? So in the same month, Sophia Takal was announced as the film's director because she did have prior experience with Blumhouse. She previously worked with them on the Into the Dark series for Hulu. Are you familiar with that series?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
Okay, I've seen both seasons. Like the anthology, it was hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, you want to check it out. It's for 2 seasons. It kind of got a pandemic, like a lot did what it did to a lot of things, kind of crushed any further plans past season 2. But what it was they were releasing a film every month, like a 90-minute film that was tied to a holiday in that month. And they would come out on Hulu. It was called Into the Dark. Again, if it's something you want to check out, it wasn't bad. It's an anthology, so you had good ones, you had bad ones, kind of up to what you like. The cast would also be announced, with the biggest name attached being the one and only Carrie Ools.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Ools or Elwes. I've heard it said many times. I just call him Wesley.
I should call him Dr. Gordon. I will not name the movie. Y'all can do your homework. Um, Obviously, big name, probably the biggest one they got for this film. Gets attached um to this. Takar would work extensively, as we talked about earlier, to make this version as feminist as she could, stating in an interview, and this is a quote. I wanted to make a movie where instead of feeling objectified or watched from a distance, the audience felt seen.
Well, I've seen that. It's called 1974's Black Christmas. You should watch it, Sophia. I don't think you did.
I don't think Sophia watches a lot of horror films. Um, Now, look, okay, to play devil's advocate, not that horror films haven't objectified women, can watch A slashers, anything to get a woman naked and tits out.
True, but is that any different than like every other genre of film? I mean, every film genre has their pro-feminist movies, their super objectifying women movies. Film is a wide spectrum of assholes and good people. That's just how it works. You can't demonize an entire genre for the sins that every genre commits.
Yes. Yeah, no, like I said, on one hand, just play devil's advocate. Okay, I get it. Yes, there's plenty of films that the women are still to be looked at. That's it.
Yeah.
But especially this coming post Me Too movement, there's also a lot of films that's not the case, and they are very feminist and pro female and not gazy at all. So you're not exactly doing anything different there, sister.
Yeah, I agree. If anything, you're showing your full hand, and frankly, you're not holding enough cards.
No. Oh. Also, on a bit of a sad note before I go on, we mentioned earlier, this would be the first time Bob Clark wouldn't be involved in a Black Christmas film due to his death in 2007. For those who probably haven't clicked yet, because I know we said it earlier, but just to reiterate, he did direct the 1974 original, and he was, I know we didn't say this one, I forgot to mention it, but we'll mention it now. He did serve as an executive producer on the 2006 remake. So he wasn't, directed the original, was at least a producer on the first remake, and then, passed away a year after it came out.
That sucks. That's, he was good. I love that he directed two iconic Christmas movies that couldn't be more polar opposites of each other.
Yeah. And one got a sequel that apparently a lot of people like.
Yeah, I'm hoping to watch it before Christmas. I've got till the 25th. After that, I can't watch it till next Christmas.
I would love like HBO Max just like locks it, just like, and you have to wait till next year.
I wish they did. I wish that streaming services would lock their holiday movies till the next December. I wish that was a thing. That'd be great.
Oh God.
Be like the fine china of streaming services.
Right? Like you're getting ready to be like, you know what? I just want to watch Elf on December 26th. You put it on, all of a sudden Max like, no.
What do you think you are doing?
Yeah.
What?
You must wait till December 1st or pay extra and do it on Black Friday.
You will have 3 warnings. On the 3rd, I don't know, your TV explodes or something.
People show up at your house and you disappear.
I don't like watching Christmas movies outside of Christmas. It feels weird.
I don't usually do it either. I need to watch the new one, the new Christmas Story. I've heard actually pretty good things about it. But yeah, whereas they've gotten that right with Bob Clark, they cannot get this right. So yeah, that's the bit of sad news I got there. Unfortunately, Bob Clark passed away, so he wasn't in no way attached to this. So which honestly kind of adds another layer of like dirtiness to me with this for fucking take on it.
He wouldn't have let this happen.
No, you've been like, you want to do what with this? No.
Yeah, he would have, in the words of Negan, I think his name is Smith, he will shut that shit down, no exceptions.
God, when Negan was a bad guy. God, it was so good when he was the bad guy.
Are you gonna watch Dead City?
No.
No.
I know what you're thinking because I've made it quite known how attractive I find Lauren Cohen to be. Still no. So negative on that one.
No spinoffs, no exceptions.
I'm, look, my contract for Walking Dead, because I'm one of the few that power through unhappily through those last couple of seasons. Um, was hey, when this season 11 that you've announced as the final season is over, my contract's over. No spinoffs, no exceptions. I'm fucking holding true to that shit. I watched season 11 finale, which was decent because yeah, you closed the main show, but you announced so many fucking spinoffs before it. I knew he was living, and there's so much setup for future goddamn shit. So just worrying about ending the main show.
Well, glad to hear you're not bitter.
Not at all. Well, also on that note, another thing that was different, as we mentioned, right, the prior two versions would be rated R. Admittedly, the 2006 one taking way more advantage of its R rating than the 1974 one. This new one would get a PG-13 rating.
Can you imagine if they remade Friday the 13th, completely cut out the entire Voorhees family, and the whole
PG.
movie was about,
Make it a PG.
Make it PG, and the whole movie is about how dangerous and unreported the amount of drownings at Crystal Lake have been over the years.
Riots across America. Hashtag not my Jason.
That's what this felt like. It's like it. They call it Black Christmas, but this isn't Black Christmas. It's this is we've got Black Christmas at home. That meme.
Yeah. We have it at home. God, oh yeah, this goddamn movie. Well, there's backup on this PG-13. There's not backup, but on what happened. So Takal sought this rating in the hopes of making it accessible to new audiences, especially young women who were interested in horror, while also opening up discussions on major issues like sexual assault.
Well, you could watch 1974's Black Christmas. Come on. That's the terrible reason. It's like, well, this movie, the movie that I kept thinking of when I was watching this, of all things, Reefer Madness. Weed is bad, and it could happen to you. That's what this movie's doing with rape.
Yeah,
which is really fucked up.
And look, I know I've said I have nothing wrong with gateway horror. Most gateway horror doesn't talk about sexual assault, though, for Christ's sakes.
Gateway horror is like Goosebumps. Someone got raped in Goosebumps.
Yeah, or Hocus Pocus or something. Like, not something where people are getting like sexually assaulted and like horrific deaths are happening and hi ho, the patriarchy, we got subservient women. Like, what in the fuck? And look, I get obviously like you want to talk about certain things too, especially young women and females in general, right? Totally get that. Your movie's not going to be that though. That's let mom start having some discussions with her daughter.
I guarantee you, no one's life was changed by 2019's Black Christmas. No one watched this and thought, "Oh, this is what horror can be." No, everyone who saw this, men and women alike, were like, "What the fuck is this?" So you failed.
Yeah, there were no discussions on sexual assault. Yeah, especially look, most young women who are going to be interested in horror, I guarantee you, they have like a friend or a parent that's into it and is going to show them the way.
Yeah, no one really like stumbles into horror movies. They're like, "What is this nightmare? Oh my god, I've never heard of or seen anything like this." No, 9 times out of 10, they got an older brother or something who's like, "Hey, you want to see something freaky? Check this out." And then they're like, "Whoa." That's usually how it goes down.
Yeah.
Unless you like, wandered into the wrong area of the video store and something was on and you were like, that could happen. It's rare though.
I mean, there's no more video stores.
See, rare.
Yeah, it's just what a weird to me, just weird reason that like I can just poke holes into. Um, Even with that, Zakar would claim, I kid you not, she would claim she was ready to fully commit to utilizing the higher R rating if needed. I don't know how, like, what was she going to show the assault and then still be like, yes, young women need to see this,
Were we going to actually see people die instead of just like cutting away as soon as Hood Face just grabs them?
right? Was there going to be blood instead of black goo that they
Someone
apparently had
going
to
to
go close up?
is somebody going to say fuck at least once, maybe twice, three times even?
Yeah, like what I want it to be PG-13 for violence, but I mean, for what I'm talking about, because again, my message, not the story, my message, I'm really going to obtain that higher R rating. Like,
Hashtag release the Takal cut.
right. So for everything about this, I'm just like, how about you stop worrying about the rating and your fucking heavy-handed message and put some thought into the fucking story.
Yeah, it is entirely like I'm going to change people's lives with this masterpiece of a message that I put into this. Oh yeah, I also made a movie.
Right, it's like an hour and a half. You should watch it.
What's it called? She goes to her like goes to IMDb, looks up Christmas horror movies. Black Christmas. We're calling it Black Christmas.
Man, at least shouldn't fucking be like Silent Night, Deadly Night. How does that even tie into this?
We're gonna call this Jingle All the Way 2. That sounds right. No, there's no Turbo Man. What's a Turbo Man? What are you talking about?
A Christmas Story.
Oh my god.
God. Well, as we see in the film, she would not. She would end up using the PG-13 rating to water down the film's violence to a large degree, making it only slightly less violent than the original. She claimed, which, granted, true, the original film isn't the most violent thing ever made.
Has that ever worked? Watering down the movie for the remake, releasing a PG-13 version, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is great." Has that ever worked?
No, you want a prime example of that one? Even though
I
people
would
are gonna
love
be
one.
like, all right, people are probably gonna be like, "Well, it did work. It was a huge box office success." And I know you're going to say, folks, Live Free or Die Hard did get released PG-13 and became a huge box office success. But when you bought that on home video, how many of you actually continued to watch PG-13 version or the unrated? He says fuck, it's violent, and the Die Hard you fucking want. Try to tell me you didn't. You only now watch that version.
I got a prime example of how it didn't work. Expendables 3. Does anybody remember any moment of Expendables 3?
Exactly. That's why I say like Live Free or Die Hard is the only one where like it worked and it didn't work. Like yes, box office success, and I actually do really like Live Free or Die Hard. But then when they released it on home video, they did the unrated cut because it's a known fact. The only reason it got PG-13, the studio went in there and edited out all the F bombs. Like they took it
Well,
all out.
I think it's a little different in action, but like if they'd remade Die Hard straight up and then like, had fucking, I don't know, Tom Hardy in an office building and it was a PG-13 bloodless action movie and it was like yippee-ki-yay mother and then they cut away, everyone would hate it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm just saying like that's what I mean. Like yeah, success. But how many people are really watching the PG-13 cut of the fourth Die Hard film?
Nah, if there's a R-rated director's cut of anything, that's what they're gonna grab.
Exactly, because apparently, and I've watched the unrated cut. It literally is just putting all the shit the studio locked. Because that was the whole thing. Like, in case anyone didn't know, it did have an R rating. The studio was determined to reach a wider audience for whatever fucking reason with the fourth film of their highly successful franchise. So they went in, locked Lynn Wiseman out of the editing room. He's the one that directed it because of his success with Underworld. Um, Locked him out of the editing room, took out the F bomb basically, and think like edited action scenes where you didn't see the blood, and that's how I got the PG-13. It was a filmed R-rated film with post watering it down. So when it came out on Blu-ray and now 4K, I believe, I think the whole series is on 4K now. they've released it unrated, and it's literally what Lynn Wiseman filmed. So it's all the fucking, fucks and the blood and the violence and stuff.
See, I just find that rude when you're gonna take that away from me. It's like I paid for fucks, I paid for blood. Give me my fucks and blood.
Yeah, especially because like it always pissed me off at the end of that movie when he gets ready to say yippee ki yay. You get one fuck in a PG-13, one or two, depending if it's not sexual, in a PG-13 film. So you get motherfucker, and they muffle that with the gunshot. I was so pissed. I'm like, well,
Well, PG-13 or not, still better than Part 5. Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Russia.
it's still better than Part 5, yeah. And yeah, Expendables 3 is a case where it just didn't work. Like that movie flopped, which is why Expendables 4 has just been taking so long to get off the ground.
Expendables 3 is to date the only time I've ever fallen asleep in the movie theater.
Yeah. It's okay to make an R-rated film and have young adults, if you will, not kids. I won't go that far, but young adults or kids if you're okay with your kids seeing it. It's all up to you as a parent. And
see, that's what it comes to me. It's like it's not up to the studio. It shouldn't be up to the studio. It's up to personal responsibility, parental responsibility. If you don't want your kid watching that shit, don't show your kid that shit. Plain and simple. It shouldn't be anyone else's responsibility.
yeah, stop worrying about fucking rating. And if you want to make it R, make it R. Like,
yeah,
has successes of like Deadpool and other movies of that ilk not shown that an R-rated film can be a huge success if it's just a good movie.
Yeah, Joker, $1 billion. Deadpool, I think 900 million, something up there.
It's like the highest grossing R-rated comic book film of all time.
There you go.
I think Deadpool 2 may have beat it, but I mean, still, that's the sequel to Deadpool, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. Point is, ratings don't matter if your content is good.
Yeah, in this case, we have a movie where they focus on the message and the rating, but not the fucking movie. So, and this is the next one part. Are you ready for all this funness? Remember how you said it seemed like this was an afterthought movie because it got announced in June, came out in December?
Mm-hmm.
Should be noted, this film had a short and rushed production schedule, being completed in only about 5 months. And this includes everything from pre-production, production, and post. So
Christ, what was the hurry?
I have no idea. I could not find out why. They just, for whatever reason, had to get everything done in 5 months. Best part is to accommodate that, you're going to get a kick out of this. Some scenes were shot in only one take and ad-libbed without a completed script.
That explains so much. The whole time I was watching, there were moments where I'm like, really? That's the take you went with? And yeah, I guess that was it, huh?
That's all we can do.
That's hilarious.
We literally a film that just wanted to hop on the meat. At the time, I believe the Me Too movement was not even like that old at the time, only like a year or two.
Yeah.
Hop on that quote unquote bandwagon. I don't mean that in a negative way. Again, we have a lot of great post Me Too films since the movement. But we want to hop on that as soon as possible. Be on the bandwagon, if you will, and they focus so hard on that, delivering a very angry blanket statement, fucking political messaging, and getting a goddamn rating that it was like, hey, we had to get a film done in 5 months, like completely done in 5 months.
Now I'm just picturing some like key grip or somebody being like, hey, we should start filming some of this, huh? Like we're getting down to the wire here. Should we make this thing or what? And then he got fired.
Yeah. I'm starting to see out doing the show like why this film turned out the way it did.
Yeah, the amount of productions we've looked into here, like we can kind of pinpoint where like something where the definitive decision that was made that turned this into a bad movie. We can always kind of see it. And right here it was, let's just start filming it without a script, like wing it, and we'll edit it in post. It's like, oh, okay, so you don't care about this. Got it.
Yeah, you don't care. Cool. I would call this strike 3 for the film. Focus on political messaging of story, drawing too much about your damn rating, getting it completely done in 5 months.
and it was a bomb. Who would have thought?
Yeah. So on that note, that's pretty much what I'm ending that on. This rush production would get the film out on schedule. It came out in December. Not met with enthusiasm. Audiences didn't seem to care, especially men who did not want to deal with the messaging of this film and essentially being yelled at for being born a man, causing it to bomb. And critics pretty much all agreed they didn't hold a candle to the classic original. Even though I do disagree that it's better than the 2006 film. I would sit through that before this travesty any day of the week.
You can get it done quick, or you can get it done right. You can't have both.
They actually haven't been able to do it right or quick. So I mean,
maybe some movies only work one time, and Black Christmas is one of those.
It's the shining example of like you just cannot do this again. Apparently,
can't. You get 2 tries, and then you just got to go sit down.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get like a third one that actually is worth talking about. But
it's gonna be called Black Xmas, and it's gonna be even worse.
It's going to combine the messaging with the incest into one really weird movie.
As long as I get Billy back. No, I won't say that. I want more. I was going to say, they can do whatever they want as long as I get Billy back, but I'm like, no, I want more than that.
I want more than just that, damn it. All right, well, that's development hell on this fucking piece of shit. Do you have anything else to add? All right. So, first award now onto this segment. Oh boy, is this going to be segment. The Zack Snyder, the worst scene. I got nothing to say about Zack Snyder than, DC fanboys are currently just crying in their basements because it's dead. Dead. Confirmed dead.
Do you remember in like 2004, 2005, it was like the Leave Britney Alone guy?
Yeah.
That's how I picture all of these Snyder suck-ups. They all look and sound like that to me.
Real quick, speaking of, did you see Dwayne, the DC hierarchy is about to change Johnson's fucking message of like, hey, so they're not moving forward with a Black Adam. I am talking to them about how we can get Black Adam into the multiverse. He's not a part of it. I'm like, how do you tell someone that, like, how is James going to feel right now? Like, I feel like he actually told him, like, no, we're done with you. And The Rock's like, so there's a chance for future stuff. Got
it. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah.
Yes. I got you.
Yeah, like, no, Dwayne, that's not what we said.
My favorite part of that is he was right. The DC hierarchy of power did change, just not in the way he thought it was going to go down.
Yeah. I'm like, just when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, dude, you're so delusional. You're finally saying, like, look, Black Adam 2 is not happening. But we are talking. I'm like, yeah, is it the same conversations that he's having with Henry Cavill?
Where was this level of effort with the Scorpion King, Dwayne?
Yeah. Why are you hinging it all on fucking Black Adam? Why?
I will never understand. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. How to get a quick sign on that? Because it's like there seems to always be now a new development on that fucking front. The worst scene. What did you pick?
I went with Nate's death scene. Nate is how do I put this delicately? When he was first introduced, I thought he was the gay friend. Turns out he was not. I thought that would have been a great, not all men have power moment coming from a gay character actually would have been a good character moment in this film. However, no, he's just the douchey boyfriend of one of them who they refuse to let have part of the argument. And his death scene is so like out of fucking Looney Tunes. He stands up and he's like, all right, assholes, I'm going to take you all down. And, this is going to be the best. And then he immediately gets shot in the head.
Yeah, you can tell he's getting ready to say some shitty, stupid dialogue they wrote. Because he starts like saying, I'm the man. And the next thing he gets shot. And you're like, oh, thank God. He was about to say something that was going to make me barf from my mouth.
Yeah. A lot of the death scenes feel like Bugs Bunny cartoons. Like the first death, Lindsay, I think her name was, when she's like banging on the door of the house and then the door opens and it's the guy. I was laughing. I was like, that's hilarious. I think I saw that in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. He was like, oh, he was here a second ago, Doc. It's like it felt like that. There was
Yeah,
nothing serious about the death scenes. So I went with Nate's death because it was like I thought this guy was gonna matter, and nope.
yeah. You think it's gonna matter? He has this stupid lines clearly about say, and then like it's one of many horribly edited deaths because they're trying to stick to the PG-13 rating, so you don't really see what's going on. You know what happens, but you kind of don't really see it because they have to work around PG-13, and yeah, it's a stupid moment. I actually want more detail because the scene I put is a little bit before that, and it has to do with Nate as well. And it's the scene when they're arguing over the whole consent to release the video when they called out the frat in the kitchen for dinner. Because this of all the moments, and this one was just blunt and over the top and just hitting you in the head. But how dare you be born a man? And this is my message, and you need to go with it. This scene is like the peak of it. Like it is every buzzword, every like just yeah, that's what's popular right now. That's what's going on right now in culture. Let's throw it in there. And then Nate gets up and starts getting into it and does the you guys say oh man. And at first you're kind of with them, like, okay, yeah, finally, like I would be getting annoyed. Like, could you shut up? Like, this is getting annoying. But then they immediately shut him down. He starts getting douchey, and that's like I said, it's like I said earlier, they finally are like, okay, let's present their argument, and they shut it down, and they immediately kill Nate, not like a scene later, and it's like, oh, okay, so he was a useless character. That's awesome movie.
And we find out that it wasn't his real feelings that he was disagreeing with them. He was hearing the high pitched noise of the frat goo, evil man juice or whatever the fuck, and that was turning him into a mean guy. Because yeah, men only disagree with women when they're evil.
Yeah, they can't just disagree, not just because people disagree, not even because of a fucking gender thing, just because people disagree all the
Yeah.
time.
Sometimes good people are wrong. Sometimes bad people are right. Not all the time, but there is that weird cross pollination that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, so that's the thing I went with because I was like, this is the everything I was hating about this film is just fucking cranked up to 11 in this scene.
When they're just screaming at him, drowning out his voice because he's making a good point, and then they just throw his ass out.
Oh God, yeah, they scream over him because he's making because I'm like he's making solid points. Like, yeah, not all men just inherently want to go out and rape everything they see. Um, some of us just want to go to Target, buy some shit, and go home after work. Crazy thought. That's I
Some of
guess
us just want to go to Target. I can see you making that like passionate speech on like the floor of like Congress or something.
yeah,
Yeah, good pick. That scene was
yeah,
irritating.
yeah. I would if I ever make a passionate speech. That's how I want it. Some of us just want to go to Target, okay? But yeah. Next up, oh boy, this one should be one of the more funner ones we've had for a movie all year. The Ed Wood first line.
Remember Phil? King Shit of Fuck Mountain? Remember him?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh so this character is so paper thin. He's just the typical alpha male frat douchebag. And he's when Riley catches him and Helena.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh
One of the sorority girls.
yeah, the one who betrays them. Uh he's about to rape her, basically, or that's what it looks like. And she stops it, and Phil starts putting his pants back on, and he goes, "You bitches are all the same. You act like you want it, but you're all a bunch of teases." Like, okay, he's a bad guy. We get it. It's like on the nose. It sounds like it's out of a, you know, 11th grade, you know, watch where you walk, like video,
Yeah.
Like, this is what you would hear in this situation. You bitches are all the same. It's so fucking stilted.
It's he's a caricature. And look, I'm sure there are guys that have said that shit before in real life, and I'm sure on college campuses. Because okay, that's what I forgot to mention earlier. This film would have done so well had they just focused more. If they wanted to take a stab at patriarchy and toxic masculinity, this film had such an opportunity with the fact that you were trying to doing it in frat culture. Frat culture. Because I fucking despise frats with a passion, and that's
Oh,
because there is a real problem with frats honestly doing shit like this between hazing and a lot of like, you know, date rape type stuff that goes on in frats that gets looked the other way because they don't want to tarnish the legacy of the frat. And a lot of these people that are in frats going to be the politicians controlling our lives. So keep that in mind, folks. Or other higher, good paying jobs out there. So there's something to be said. This film had something to say that focused more on that and having a character like this villain saying shit like that, because I'm sure shit has been said like that. There are people like that in frats. But like you said, like this film just goes for its blanket statement. This is just a stilted line of it feels so stilted coming out of him that you're just like, oh, I'm just rolling my eyes like, okay, I get it. He's clearly the bad guy in the whole frat. Or the head honcho of baddies in the frat.
yeah. Yeah. He's one of those, pledges to Phi Beta douchebag or whatever the hell it's called. And I get it. I would have liked a little bit more, there's ways to do that with him still being the bad guy, but not just, beating it over your head, beating you over the head with it.
Yeah. Well, especially because there's stuff before that when he walks in the coffee shop and he's just like laying it thick that like the person that assaulted her is going to be there. And, oh, don't worry, it'll be consensual. And you're like, oh my God. God movie, could you be laying it on any thicker?
And then we get it the other way where the one like, protest lady is like, throws a water at him and is like, fuck you. Like it's just immediately like rah in the other direction. Like, can we have some like middle of the road subtle scenes, like one or two, please?
Because guess what? Not only did I hate this guy because he's clearly a piece of shit. Come at me all you will. I hated the fucking protest lady because she was everything that's like kind of like on the more extreme annoying side of this shit. On any kind of social issue, right? You have the people that I feel like are pretty much like trying to be in the middle as far as like seeing the sides, going about it in a very thoughtful way. And you get your two extremes on either side, right? She represents the extreme. I don't like either extremes. I hate fucking extremes. Just like blanket statements, I hate extremes.
Yeah.
She is.
I don't like people. I don't like that. Like she represented the people who, if you don't agree with them, you're a monster and you deserve to burn in hell.
Yes.
Like regardless of what part of it you don't believe, it's one part you disagree with, and you can go fuck yourself. Those people are psychos on that side, and then the rapists are psychos on that side. And I don't want to associate with either one of them.
Yeah. It's like both of you suck, and I could live without both of you in this movie right now.
Yeah. I liked Landon. Let's get some more Landon.
Yeah, he was a good character. Like this film just fucking again has a chance to kind of make a point saying like, oh hey, no, not all guys. Like here's a good guy. Here's someone that's just but he disappears for so much of the fucking movie.
And then in the end, we find out that if you're a guy and you get the founder's goo blasted all over your face, you become a bad person.
Yeah, you can't fight it because you are inherently a bad guy. And that's like
get used to it.
Yeah, and that was a great fucking segue to my line. Oh my God. Because I put the moment when he is helping them out and he breaks into the frat and he draws their attention and they start doing their shit some. And again, said by the same guy that said, the rapey comment, proceeds to tell him, and I quote, that's just the founder trying out your true alpha. First off, that is the cringiest line of dialogue I've heard like in my life. Some of the worst. Second off, so you're implying in your blanket statement that all men are evil, that once again, inherently, I believe myself to be a true alpha that should have any woman he pleases and do anything I want to do.
You're saying all I got to do is get my hands on some of that founder juice, rub it on my face, and I can finally be the alpha male that I have always believed that me to be. Nice. I'm gonna write
Yeah.
that down, pencil that in. Okay, right
Yeah.
on that.
I want to remember that in my day-to-day life of literally just waking up, saying fuck a couple of times as I get ready for work and I drive drive to work. Let me continue.
That caught me off guard. That was funny.
Drive to work, do my job, leave work, do any kind of errands I need to do after work. Usually like, oh, I need to get more pet food or I need to get more groceries or whatever. Or, oh, hey, my new issue of my comics came in. Let me go grab those real quick. Do that. And then I come home and I proceed to watch movies or play video games. One, that doesn't, I'm not alpha. Two, I don't know more in that schedule of my life of things that make me happy other than work. Um, or I am compelled deep down to draw out the true alpha there.
See, it's a demanding schedule. How are you going to make time for all the rape you should be doing? I mean, that's demanding. That's a lot of time.
I gotta quit my job.
Yeah, you got to make a choice there, and I think we all know what the choice is. God, this is crazy. This is yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. I thought you were gonna go with the line where he tells them to go suck a fat fart.
That was close too. I had quite a bit written down. I don't have my book on me, but I had another one that was like, that was a stupid line. Oh, I think it was Chris because she said like, when she said I won't stop until they stop or something like that. I was like, I fucking hate hearing that.
I hate hero complexes.
Yeah. I don't stop because they don't stop. Like, oh no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not a very well written script. Who would have thought? Or was it like, we're not insane, we are simply men? Like, oh god. Carrie, you're a good actor. Why are you here?
Yeah, why? Why?
Unlike some other Robin Hoods, you can speak with an English accent.
Yeah. Great movie. That's a good movie. But yeah, fuck you, movie. I'm not, no. And literally, I sat at work sitting there going, God, I can't wait to go home and watch some TV, play some video games. That's what I can't wait to do, to numb the pain of my mindless job.
Just picturing you in your day to day, you're getting ready to go in the shower, you're just like, fuck. Brush your teeth, you're just, fuck. You sit down in the car, you're just like, and you're like, you're Cameron and Ferris Bueller, just like punching the middle part, just freaking out.
Oh God. Pretty much. That's what it feels like every day.
Well, glad you have this.
Yes. So on that note, before we go down that route, the Steven Seagal worst performance.
Oh, there are contenders here. I gave this one to Imogen Poots as Riley because of one specific scene, and it's the scene where she's arguing with Protest Lady. I refuse to learn any names here. I don't want to bank this information. I got things important to remember. This is going to take up space. And she's like, the way she talks, she's like, you are just so you could tell that's one of those improvised scenes that they couldn't because they couldn't finish their sentence
for the word as she's saying it.
Yeah, and she always sounds like she's on the verge of crying, but she doesn't. She's just it's so over the top, and I just didn't care for her performance.
It took me a while to realize I was Imogen Poots when I first watched this because I've seen 28 Weeks Later, and I was like, where the fuck is Imogen Poots?
I just fucking watched that like 2 weeks ago, and I was that yeah, she was great in that. So it's not her. Well, it is a bit her. I mean, she is here, but
well, I was like, where's the long-haired blonde lady from 28 Weeks Later? Like, where'd she go? And I'm like, oh, it's our lead character. Oh, I was like, oh, she was way better in 28 Weeks Later.
Now I'm just picturing on set, they're all set up, and she's like, okay, the director's like, okay, action. She's like, what? Where's the script? It's like, no, don't worry about that. In your own time. Come on. You're
Quick take.
arguing, you're angry. We only got one shot at this. So action. And she's just like trying to make herself cry immediately because she didn't realize that was going to be the scene. So she's just like, trying to. How did this thing get finished?
I will say it's a miracle this even got finished. Yeah, look, I had a hell of a time trying to pick someone. I wanted to go with the protest lady because I just fucking despised her guts. The moment it was, yeah, I finally got the bust of the founder's statue taken off the grounds because he owns slaves. Okay, a couple of things with your little like fucking protest there, lady. One, every person, every fucking ancestor we have in America owned slaves. So sorry to break that fact to you. And also, yeah, you got rid of the statue. It's still called Hawthorne. It's still named after him.
Also, your protest got that thing moved into the frat, which means this is all your fault.
Yeah, so you started this. So you suck. Because again, if you're going to move the statue because of your flimsy reason, it's the school is still named after him. The name is still there. It hasn't gone away.
Well, and her whole like her petition to get Dr. Gordon fired. I know he's not Dr. Gordon in this, but again, I'm not remembering names.
Oh yeah.
He, Dr. Robin Hood Wesley Gordon, trying to get him fired because he's teaching the classics and they're all white authors. It's like that's not his fault. He did turn out to be a sexist asshole later on.
Yes.
But when we just think he's the teacher, I've taken a lot of courses where the writers are primarily white because for the majority of American history, white men were the only people allowed to publish anything.
Yeah, it's like I get where I get, and that like I said, I do get where the heart's at there, but that's not his fault. That's the curriculum, and most American classics are written by white men because that's mostly right. People like Mary Shelley back in the day were rare. That's why she was so unique. The fact that she was able to get something out like Frankenstein and become a huge hit.
Yeah. So it's I don't agree with it, but I don't agree with the way she went about it, and it does not make her character endearing. It makes her character kind of a thorn in the side of the movie.
Yeah. Again, she represents the extreme side of the stuff that we talked about earlier. It just pisses me off. But surprisingly, I did not put her down. No, she grated on my nerves. I did put down Carrie Yules simply because I know you can do better than this, Carrie. I know you can. I have seen Saw. I have seen Robin Hood. I have seen Men in Tights. For those who are wondering which one, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Seen Princess Bride. I know it's in you to do better. I've seen the third season of Stranger Things that you were in. You got it. What in the fuck is going on here? Not only that, it is like from the moment you see him, even if you obviously, this being a horror film, and you see him, and then you see his first scene, and you're like, oh, he's the fucking bad guy. There is no way, no, he's not the fucking bad guy. And then it gets to the scene where he just shows up at the house, and he's getting all fucking creepy, and you're like, oh my god, and then sure enough, gets into the movie, he's a goddamn bad guy. What, again, dude, what happened to subtlety? Like, trick me for a second. Maybe you go like, maybe he's not the bad guy. Maybe he's just really mad about this petition, which I would get as a teacher. But no, it's just like he has a sign on his head with an arrow pointing at him going, villain, reveal, villain.
You ever see Muppets Most Wanted?
No.
Ricky Gervais plays a character in that movie named Dominic Bad Guy. And he says, no, it's pronounced Badgie. It's French. Might as well just call him Dr. Bad Guy.
I mean, at least we let him use his accent. So it's like he had that going for him. But I was like, God damn it, dude. It's so obvious you're the fucking bad. You don't cast, especially coming off like Saw at this point. It's like, you don't cast Carrie Yules in a Blumhouse Productions movie without, yeah, he's 100% the fucking villain here.
Yeah, you're right. he can be better. He has done better. I guess he needed to pay the mortgage that month.
He blew all his Stranger Things season 3 money.
Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling you something. Little Dread Pirate Roberts for you.
All right. Speaking of directors that haven't actually done the best at portraying strong female characters on screen, the Michael Bay worst filmmaking decision. I just realized that when I was like, oh shit, yeah, Michael Bay.
Yeah, if you're going to talk about sexism in Hollywood, you don't get to not bring up Michael Bay.
Yeah.
So basically, this is pretty easy for me. Taking a very hard and sudden left turn into the supernatural without any indication up to that point, and having that magic be a dark spell that awakens every man's inner monster because every man wants to be a monster. That's incredibly insulting. And you know what? To quote the parlance of our times, I am very offended. Yeah.
Canceled.
Not so funny when it's at you, is it? But yeah, I was like, that's stupid and a great way to alienate a huge part of your audience and just make a bunch of, innocent dudes, not all of them are innocent, but a lot of them are, make us feel pretty fucking, guilty, or at least try to.
I was like, at least try. I was angry. I didn't feel guilty.
Yeah. I know they were trying to make you feel guilty, but I was more like, this is bullshit.
Yeah. Fuck you, movie. Yeah, I'm kind of with you in the sense that like what I put from mine, I actually like 3 things written down because I was like, I had like, toning it down to PG-13, slapping Black Christmas on there to call it a remake when it's fucking not, honestly. But the one I went with,
real quick, I had written down the phrase, I know Black Christmas and you, sir, are no Black Christmas. But then, yeah.
Guys, yeah, all right, this is not Black Christmas. But me, it kind of goes with what you were saying, right? And that I kind of put the fact that this focuses so much more, and it's obvious, on an overt, blunt, blanket statement social message instead of an engaging story with smart messaging.
Yeah. Sacrificing, substance for style, but then not giving us much of that either.
Yeah. So yeah, like so with the ending, like if you're already not obviously aware of like, God, this chick who's directing and wrote this really hates men, man, when you get to that ending, it's like if they couldn't have hammered it down anymore, sort of just like yelling it in your face, you're like, okay, they really fucking hate men, don't they?
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's how you drop the ball. So well done. Maybe this is the last time we'll have to deal with the Black Christmas remake.
Probably. I think this really destroyed any prospects for another one. Now I know we've been shitting on this film a lot, rightly so. And I know, as I said, if you go on FILMGAZM.com, this is sitting at 1 out of 10 for me. So on that note, we have to come out with a silver lining for this because that is something we do every week. So, what's your silver lining, the one positive you took from this film?
Well, I gotta say, it's not that bad. I'm kidding. No, it is.
If you just pulled the regular like 9 out of 10.
It's a 6. You know what? I've seen worse. It's like, no, fuck this. My silver lining is one scene, Franny, her death. I picked this because it is a expertly done nod to Exorcist 3, and I appreciated that.
Oh, okay, interesting. See, I hated that because I'm like, as soon as it happened, I'm like, fuck you, movie, trying to pull from Exorcist 3.
Well, I was more like just
reaction.
It made me think of a better movie I could be watching, so that I liked that. I was like, I remember when that was scary and good. That was really well done. Oh yeah, now I got to watch the rest of this shit. So It gave me a moment of like, yes, there are better movies out there. I'm not trapped. This will be over. I like the nod. It was like, the zoom in and I thought that was cool.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. Even though, like I said, I just got a reaction of like "fuck you" movie. I could be watching Exorcist 3 right now. How to me? I guess I really do get prone to anger quite easily because I was angry on that scene. Um, I mentioned that because apparently everyone's been pointing that out to me in recent couple of days. So I guess
If everyone's pointing it out, it might be something to that, buddy.
I fuck all of you. I don't think so. I'm getting angry now just thinking about it. Now, for
Oh boy.
me, I put the one scene that on this rewatch kind the only one to me that kind of even remotely works. And it's the part when they do their little musical performance and start to call out the entire frat for promoting rape culture.
Hmm.
It's the one time I went, okay, I'm down. Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. Because yeah, it's like, you know, first off, I'm sitting there going, you really gonna make your fucking friend go up there knowing the person that assaulted her is there? And but then when they kind of come together as a sorority, as sisters, right? And say like, oh, we're just gonna take them all down a peg. And do that and seeing the look on their faces, I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah. I now again, because of it, we get that fucking dumb scene I hated, but I liked what happened in that moment of taking them down a peg.
Interesting, because I had the opposite reaction of like, this is a terrible song. They could have done this better. It's like some music, perhaps, maybe a rhythm. I don't know.
I like how both of our scenes we basically just disagreed.
Yeah, we had the same. Yeah, the same reaction to our respective scenes of like, nah, that was a bad one. That's great.
Ah, look, I had to put something down because I was literally thinking like, will this be the first one where I put nothing down? Because I was like, I can't stand this fucking movie.
Yeah, I had that down. Before that, I had the opening kill because I was laughing my ass off at the thought of it being, Looney Tunes related. I had
Yeah,
that.
and
Uh,
the first bit of obviousness, like the bluntness starts happening when she's like getting ready to mess with the guy that's behind her. I'm like, have you ever thought the guy's just like on his phone and you just happen to be in front of him? Like it kind of happens all the time.
I also went. I almost went ethereal with it. It's like, well, now that this is, now that this bombed and the Black Christmas property is probably, dead for good, Bob Clark can finally be at peace.
That's what I
But
would put it. Well, at least we have the original on 4K now.
my positive is I can always watch Black Christmas 1974.
Yeah,
I have it. It's right here
in
whenever I want.
yeah, in ultra high definition now. Thank
Oh,
you, Factory, on that one. But yeah, well, that's our awards for this. Let's now get macro with this. Okay, see what I did there, and see what the people of Letterbox say, and find out what's in the box.
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
ooh boy, is this not beloved? 1.9 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
And
One of our lower films. There are a weird bunch of like spiteful, I'm assuming, ultra feminist people who are like, this is the greatest movie of all time. Fuck you. But I didn't pick any of them. Right? The worst movie on earth is going to have people who love it out of spite because it makes them the most interesting person in the room.
Yeah, they're contrarian, if you will.
Hate contrarians with a passion. That might be the group of people on earth I hate the most. I'd rather invite like a dictator, a serial killer, and like a pedophile to a dinner party than a contrarian.
You just always have to say the opposite of what you say.
At the very least, those other three assholes are going to be interesting.
So they'd be like, "This feels great." It's all right.
Ugh. Get a personality of your own, you boring fuck. Anyway,
God,
I hate contrarians, man. I really do.
Most people, it's hipsters. Connors, contrarians.
100%. You can always tell. You just ask like 3 or 4 questions. At that point, you're like, okay, fuck this guy forever. Okay.
This guy.
Here are some. I think I have 5 reviews of Black Christmas that I hope can make you laugh. This first one's from Mariana. Best part about this movie was when a random man stormed into the theater yelling, "The fuck is this movie?" And then walked out 5 minutes later saying, "What the fuck? Is this not Jumanji?" 1 star. This loud ass guy just wandering into the wrong theater, being like, "This is fucking Jumanji, god damn it."
This is a shame movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, awesome.
This next one's from Jay Bird.
This film entertaining for like 5 seconds.
This guy decided to give us a nice limerick. At Hawthorne, the Christmas is black, as cloaked figures are on the attack. In a school days, stay away from the haze. Maybe folks should not join a frat. 2.5 stars.
I like how you did that.
Yeah, me too.
And also, don't join a frat. Legit, don't. Their frats suck.
I never understood the whole like paying your dues. You're basically buying your friends. I've never believed in that. I refuse to debase myself, like humiliate myself to have brothers. Like, what bullshit is this? Who hates themselves that much to go through shit like that?
Yeah, you cannot. There's no one on earth that convinced me about. Well, it's all about the brotherhood. No, fuck you. I'm not
Just so when
basing
I'm 50, I can be like, I was Phi Beta Kappa. Like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like I hate frats. So that's my PSA this week to everyone listening. Don't join a frat. You're better than that.
Yeah, and if you're not, you're probably in a frat. This next one's from Lee McCoy. This fucking movie. To take something so precious and pure in every sense of the horror word, and 1, take out one of the greatest killers in history, and 2, tack an agenda on it that smothers the viewer to death. Just wow. Also, the horror genre, more than any other genre, breeds strong women. So what message are you sending that hasn't already been spread hundreds of times before? Exactly. Thank you for pretty much putting the nail in the coffin of a beloved property that will never see another remake or sequel again. Job well done. 1.5 star. Lee, right on the money. Right on the money.
I'm pretty much like with them 100% on that one.
Yes. Oh boy. Okay. This next one's from Will Walker. And his first sentence, I feel like you might explode. I hate to say it, but I really do miss the days of Platinum Dunes rebooting the iconic slashers. At least those were cinematic. At least they had interesting and distinctive direction. At least they didn't seem to hold active contempt for the audience. Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning did, but that aside. Black Christmas 2019 is directed and subsequently acted like a Lifetime movie. There is absolutely none of what made the Bob Clark classic work. It doesn't even have the gruesome uneasiness of the underrated 2006 remake. It's a slick, cynical corporate piece of garbage, just like Halloween 2018 was. Ooh, I disagree with that. You had me till then, Will.
Yeah, it was good in 2018, but god damn it. TC in the beginning one really got me good.
If this is the best Blumhouse can do for Billy, who's not in this film, by the way, and Michael, maybe Mr. Voorhees is better off at the bottom of Crystal Lake instead of in the hands of these studio hacks.
Oh my god.
Ouch.
So we got a horror fan in their fucking 40s and 50s is what we got.
Yeah, I'm looking at his picture right now. He looks the 30s. Actually, kind of might be a contrarian. It's open season.
Oh god. Oh no, was that it on his?
That was it, yeah.
That was good. I don't know why I found the T. I think it's because I actually do like TC in the beginning, but that whole content for that one did, but that was good. That was good. Especially he is right. Platinum Dunes. Say what's real about the remakes. They clearly didn't hate the audience. They were clearly made by people that did like the original. Well, maybe not Nightmare on Elm Street. Most of them made by people that liked the original, and they were trying to make something fucking for audiences to go see and enjoy. I'll give them that.
Fair enough. This last one's from Troy L. He starts off with a quote for the movie. You messed with the wrong sisters. Great job, Black Christmas 2006. You are now all right in my book. My fault, Black Christmas 1974. I owe you an apology and will give you a third try sometime in the future. I'm sure I will appreciate you a lot more after seeing this atrocious pile of dog shit. 1 star.
Gosh.
And that's what's in the box. Contempt and lots of it.
Yeah, that was good. I really like the third and fourth ones the best. Those were good. Just true about the Halloween 2018 thing. I quite enjoy Halloween 2018. But yeah, that was wow. A lot of content. I like how he basically was like, I don't like the original, but thanks to this film, I'm giving it a third go.
Yeah, it's like there's no way it's worse than this. And I love that he hated the 06 one, but now he's like, you know what? Not that bad.
There's a lot of fans I've been saying they're like, you know what? Let's go back and revisit the 06 one.
I feel like the goal should not be to make a movie that's so bad it makes the other movie that was just as bad look better. That nobody wins with that. How about you try to make a good movie? Let's try that.
Yeah. If you think all you now have done is make people appreciate a film that was once forgotten, and yours will now be the forgotten one. So good job.
Yeah. Rest in piss. Black Christmas 2019. This is the last time I ever intend to talk about this movie.
Oh, Sam. Now that I got this out of the way for the show, I'm never putting this fucking thing on again.
If I could delete voodoo movies, I would get rid of this.
Oh God. Yeah. Now that we know what's in the box, which was those guys were good. I really like those. Let's move on and close the book on this. Not just what's in the box, but on this fucking movie. So before I reveal what next week's episode is, be sure to follow us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under FILMGAZM Productions. If you want to show us a recommendation, feel free to email us at filmgasm@gmail.com. If you'd like to donate and support us in that way, you can find us on Anchor. Finally, feel free to get on our site, filmgasm.com, for reviews, trailers, articles, and all of our episodes. Like I said, I do have a review up here for this particular film. 1 out of 10 if you really want to get, I would hope, a good laugh, because I think it's most of my really bad reviews are me ranting, i.e. this one and The Ring from The Grudge from 2020. You might get a good laugh out of that. Check it out. It's nothing flattering about this film in my review. But with that, next week we'll be ending the year with the incredibly underrated workplace comedy Waiting. Now, probably wondering, how does that fit in with the holiday season? Well, viewers, other than retail, here's one of the most overworked jobs during the holidays: food service. So I can't think of a better way to celebrate the new year than looking at the job that serves us food, and most people, I don't, I know you don't, disrespect them immensely, especially on the holidays, than with waiting.
As a former restaurant employee myself, waiting hits home in quite a few ways. So yeah, I'll try to dig up some stories from my time at Draft House when I had to deal with some assholes. I got one in particular that is a fucking walloper of a story about a nut job who we had to call the cops on. So we'll talk about that next week.
Oh God, yeah, I got some people I still remember from my time working at Subway. On FILMGAZM, we'll be celebrating New Year's with the appropriate horror holiday film, New Year's Evil. And on Oscar Sunday, they'll be looking at what many consider to be the quintessential Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life. Until then, yes, not Miracle on 34th Street, for those who were thinking I was going to say that. It's a Wonderful Life. Until then, don't join a fraternity which seeks to subjugate women like we're still in the 1950s. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. See you all next week on Beyond the Bad.